So you'll notice on the first set of flight, the reason why I did it that way was because everything on that first flight, or in our first cut side of the video, is going to be anything that is on the beginner side to easily anybody that can start off with it. I think there was only one beer that was a little bit aggressive. Now we moved to the right side of the menu over here, and this is starting off with IPAs right from the get-go. So first one is going to be All Seeing IPA. This is a regular American style IPA, 7.1%. So we're going to go to our first beer, which is right here. Nose is awesome. Smells like kind of like a little bit of small, very, very small hints of pine resin. Very, very pleasant. It's kind of like an open air, trees around you, just kind of like a meadow or something. It's really, really nice. Take a look at that color there. You'll notice that this beer has. I'm gonna try to put this into words here. I'm gonna go just one more quick sip here. So, easiest way I can describe this is, if I were to give you just a, I guess what you would call a traditional or standard, just a plain IPA, that would be what you would call, say, your white bread, like at your local grocery store. And at your grocery store, right next to it, you see that 7-grain, multi-grain bread. That's what this is right here. So you have your standard IPA, which is like your white bread. This would be like your multi-grain bread here, 7-grain or all that. It just has a whole lot going on with like the multi flavor, the grain. So it has a little bit more on what you would consider to be bitterness, but it might not be bitterness. It could just be simply the malt or the grains that are being used on this. So this would be something that I would consider you would definitely need to be somebody who already likes IPAs. You don't quite need to be at advanced level to enjoy this, but you probably want to like malty or very grainy IPAs. All right, next on the menu is Eye of Providence. This is a 6.8%. And it says on the menu it's a New England or hazy IPA. I don't believe that is a hazy IPA. That is very, very clear. You'll notice a lot of hazy IPAs usually have this very, very opaque color right through where you can't really see anything through it. This one you can absolutely see right through it. So it's a little bit misleading to me and my for the eyes. As far as nose goes though, very, very much on that hazy side. And as far as taste goes, it is a little bit on that hazy side. And it's gonna sound really stupid, but I'm gonna use the same reference here from my friend on that first IPA. If this is a hazy IPA, this is the multi-grain version of that white bread hazy IPA. It has this underlying maltiness characteristics to it. So it's very similar. If you like that malty IPA like you did on this one, there's no reason you wouldn't like this one. If you're a beginner or anybody that's intermediate, it's already trying to get into IPAs or already been drinking IPAs, this one's softer than this one. And that's just because of that characteristic of the hazy IPA. Not much else I can really tell you on this. All right, I'm gonna go to this one here next. The reason why is this is for a fruited IPA. I'm gonna try this one next. This is the Imperial Double 8.8% ABV. This is their Temple on Pine beer. And again, it's a double IPA. So before I do anything, just the nose alone already tells me that it's gonna likely be very resembling these first two beers. And so, don't mean to keep repeating myself, but it's very clear the concept of an IPA of what it is at this brewery. So they like to make very malt-forward beers. It's gonna have this kind of like caramel undertone. You'll hear me say this 10 times over. Pale ales and IPAs, I personally, my palate, I do not enjoy malty IPAs or malty pale ales. I want malty pilsners. This is not my cup of tea. 100% I can tell you right now, this is likely something that somebody who is an IPA drinker and likes malt would likely be a fan of this type of beer. All right, last beer on the list is Tango Haze. This is an IPA that is fruited. It is a 6.7% ABV beer. It doesn't say what kind of overall fruit it has. It just says that it is a fruited IPA. I can tell you right now, it's more than likely some type of stone fruit, meaning apricot, peach, something that has literally a pit right in the middle, like a citrusy. Smells great, actually. I mean, that is this is really, really nice. It does not have any of the typical IPA characteristics of these other ones that were on the list. So its fellow brethren all kind of tasted the same. This one is standing out because of that fruitiness. I won't know until I try the beer here. So this is interesting. It has the same exact backbone of all these beers. Clearly the brewery likes that malty backbone on an IPA. Because they added fruit to this, it does not have the underlying tone that I normally don't like, which is this malty characteristic that just kind of lays on your tongue. This has a little bit of peach tartness, a little bit of like apricot overall sweetness. So it actually cuts some of that down. So it just tastes a little bit more, kind of like orange juice, to be honest. It's orange juice with a little bit of bitterness. This is exactly what this tastes like. If you're into IPAs already, or you're trying to try IPAs for the first time, this is exactly where I would go. This is awesome. This is a great beer to get you right into that, simply because it's that fruitiness. It really, really helps your palate to accept those bitter flavors because it has those sweetness that's naturally added to it with that stone fruit flavor. So one last note to mention, I don't have a problem with any of the IPAs that I drank earlier. I know my palate profile. I know what I like. And I don't like malty IPAs. However, that does not mean that this might not be for you. If you like malty beers, if you like malty IPAs, malty pale ales, this would be 100% a brewery that I would love to visit. This one just made it softer on my palate, so it made it more easy for me to enjoy. However, none of these beers are bad. They're all just in their own characteristics. If you like maltier beers, you need to come here. These are gonna be right up your alley. I would be the first one to tell you, hey, if you like that kind of style, this is exactly where you should go. Because overall, there's a malt-like characteristic across the board on all these IPAs. And I think that's very important to understand what kind of tasting notes you want to have on your palate. And the minute you understand what you have in your palate, the faster it's going to be for you to find something you like every time you go to a brewery. Hey, last on the list is Square and Compass. This is going to be a peanut butter stout. This is sitting at 5.6%. The main reason why I ordered this beer was specifically to make sure that I gave you some type of understanding as to the pros and cons of overall stouts. Some stouts can just simply be super alcohol forward. Some can be very light. You have a complete different variation of the Villains Brewing Company place that we did. That was a 17.5% stout. This is sitting at 5.6%, and it's a peanut butter stout. My guess is that it's going to be very sweet. I haven't smelled it yet. I'm about to go into this right now. Oh, all right, look at this. Look at that. Peanut butter straight up in your nose, like you're about to make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is so much peanut butter right on the nose. Oh man, I hope it tastes just like it smells. Always a good sign when you see the smile from the nose. Oh, peanut butter stout all the way. I'm actually really enjoying the fact that it has such a low ABV on this. If this was a 12-15% peanut butter stout, it would have completely ruined what this flavor is. It's allowing that sweetness characteristic to completely come through without all that heat of the alcohol burning up all those flavors, so that you don't have the ability to taste all of that nice sweetness. This was made intentionally with a low ABV, specifically to make sure that it wasn't going to ruin that sweetness. So overall, great beer for beginners, intermediate, pros. It's an easy drinking beer. You can actually drink a whole pint of this. 5.6%, 8.8% lets you know the difference right there. All right, so just some final thoughts here. This is a really, really cool place to come. It's very restaurant and beer overall combined. It's about a 50-50. They have really good food. The sliders were really good. Also, the onion rings were actually really, really good. If you come here, get the onion rings. They're just impeccable onion rings. Overall, if I was to come back again, which I'll be honest, I will be back again, I'm gonna say that the best beer that I had today was the Temple of Tartness, and that was just because of how virtually overall I would say is just be accepted by anyone who walked through the door. I would also tell you that the Todos los Dias Mexican lager was also very, very easy. Everything you saw in that first set of tasters was all very enjoyable, and I think that that's the main thing about this place is that they make something for everybody. Once you get to the IPAs, if you like those multi IPAs, great, come here and drink those. But this stout's awesome. I'm just gonna keep enjoying this. Overall, great place to come. And if you're here in Long Beach, I would say that you would definitely want to make a quick trip here. Good brewery. Staff is also very amazing. I've been here a couple times. Super friendly people. Very cool place to come and hang out. So just remember, these are just opinions. We're just having fun here. If you're having problems with your wife, don't go to sleep angry. As always, drink what you like. Cheers. Better than that. And then he's like, hey, why don't you come with me? I think I have an idea or understanding of what I think you would like. We went to a really cool bar in downtown LA. It's called Wurstkuche. I don't know if you've ever been there. So it's a German kitchen, WURST. So like Wiener Schnitzel, Wurstkuche. So it's a hot dog kitchen place, but they serve beer, and they have these really exotic things. They have like rattlesnake hot dogs, duck bacon hot dogs. They have some crazy stuff there. It's right here in downtown LA. It's really cool, but they also serve it with all kinds of European beers. And so I ended up trying things like Belgian doubles, triples, Marzen. I mean, there's so many beers from Europe, and it ended up, once I got into it, I was like, this is awesome. I'm like, how do I get more stuff like this? And then I just started going to Total Wine, and then I got crazy, and I started seeking out rarer beers, and then I started spending a bunch of time at breweries. Then my wife almost left me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.